They say all good things must come to an end, and the Wellington Phoenix women's season has reached its final stop. Game 22 of 22 in their third A-League campaign. For the visitors today, though, the Western Sydney Wanderers, the season could well continue into finals football. It's all in their hands. They can lock in their playoff place here in Porirua today. While they chase their final spot, the Phoenix will play for pride in more ways than one. They'll wear the club's inaugural Pride shirt today as part of the A-League's wider Pride celebrations, which highlight diversity and inclusivity in football. Welcome to a breezy Porirua Park, just north of Wellington City, for final round action in the Liberty A-League as Wellington Phoenix play host to the Western Sydney Wanderers. A bit chilly, the southerly is making it so. Those of you from this part of the world will know that it's the southerly which is the cooler of the prevailing breezes. It comes from right of screen when the game is underway. Joining me in co-commentary this afternoon, Head of Female Development at the Wellington Phoenix Academy, Katie Barrett. Katie, as the players prepare to take the field, how will the Wellington Phoenix be approaching this one? There's nothing to gain in terms of table position or finals football, but they will want to finish on a high, won't they?
Exactly right, Piney. The Phoenix would have wished to show that they did everything they could do to qualify, but today presents a new chance to spoil the party of a team that spoiled theirs. So look for goals and look for a never say die attitude in both boxes today.
We normally get goals here at Porirua Park, 20 in the previous 5 matches we've had the pleasure of watching here. Emma Main, one of those who's been on the score sheet here, many others as well. Western Sydney come to town with one thing in their mind and one thing only. A result today for Western Sydney, be it a draw or a victory, will lock them into finals football, and they come in on the back of an excellent run of recent form, wins over 3 previous opponents. If they were to win today, it will be their second run of 4 consecutive wins this season. 4 changes to the Phoenix side that lost 1-0 to Canberra last weekend as they move to a 3-5-2 formation today, we're told. In come Alyssa Wynnum, Zoe McMeekin, Mania Elliott and Kate Taylor, who joins Mackenzie Barry and Captain Mickey Foster in the back 3. American Hope Breslin starts in central midfield. She is the only player to feature in all 22 of Wellington's games this season. Just the one change to the Wanderers side that beat Western United 3-1 last time out. Kush LaRue, who played for Wellington in their inaugural season, comes in up top. Otherwise, Robbie Hooker keeps faith with the same players who got the job done last weekend. Amy Harrison captains the side from centre-back. There are the sub-benches. Brazendale, Speckmeyer, Davidson, Jaber all started last weekend, all among the reserves today. Our referee today is Caitlin Williams, assisted by Sarah Jones and Heloise Welch. Beth Rattray, our 4th official. And helping with the coin toss is 10-year-old Max Reel. He's a Manchester City fan. He loves watching Phil Foden play. He plays locally for the superbly named Stokes Valley Mad Dogs. There's Max Reel. What a day for him. Face painted and helping with the coin toss. Well done, young Max. There is the inaugural Pride shirt, worn with pride by the Wellington Phoenix women today. Central defender Mackenzie Barry today becomes the first female player to make 50 appearances for Wellington Phoenix. Remarkably, she's missed just 4 of the club's 54 matches in their 3 seasons of existence. 49 of her 50 matches have been starts.
No, he did well. Thank you.
Sophie Harding's been Western Sydney's main source of goals this season with a dozen, including 3 in the last 2 matches. She was born in England and moved to Australia as a 6-year-old. Last month, she received her first Matilda's call-up. A really good crowd in attendance here. Start of a double-header weekend in Wellington. The men play Brisbane tomorrow. For the women, it is an Easter Saturday clash with Western Sydney Wanderers. Wellington Phoenix in the lighter strip, their Pride strip. They'll attack the goal to left of screen, so they'll have the southerly behind them in the first half. Western Sydney Wanderers in the darker strip today. They'll attack from left to right as we look That is towards the southern end of Porirua Park. Off we go. Round 22 action in the Liberty A-League. In some ways, the equation is very simple for the Wanderers. Avoid defeat today, and they'll play finals football for the first time since 2020. But victory for the Wanderers would see them jump into the top 4 and secure their first ever home final. They can actually finish as high as 3rd if they win by 2 goals or more today. Conversely, though, a loss for the Wanderers today would see them sweating on tomorrow's result between Melbourne Victory and Sydney FC to see if they remain in the top 6. For Wellington, the top 6 unattainable, just table position and a strong finish to an, at times, promising season to play for today. I like the strip, Katie, the Pride strip, looking fantastic out there.
Yeah, it's a great week in the round Piney, and I know the players are really excited to represent a community that's really special, especially in the female game.
Kate Taylor is into the action early, restored back to, as I say, what we're told will be a back 3 today. Isabel Cox looking to get involved early. McMeekin can't control, so a back 3, as I say, we're told today of Foster, Barry and Taylor. How will that change the way Wellington look to play, particularly when they actually just hold that thought as Western Sydney construct an attack? How will that change the way they look to play today when they have the ball, first of all?
Yeah, well, certainly with the 3 at the back, it just adds that little bit more security for if you do lose the ball. That means players like Elliott and McMeekin can really fly forward as wing-backs, and Main and Cox up front will certainly keep the backline busy as well.
Throw coming the way of Western Sydney. Alexia Apostolakis with her first involvement at right back. Can't find her teammate Harding. Sophie Harding, what a player she's been for Western Sydney. 12 goals, and when you've got a player who can find the score sheet as often as that, you know you're going to have an excellent chance of progress. She's been a big part of their run towards finals football. Vicky Foster with the long throw, looking for Cox. No Mariana Speckmeyer at the point of the arrow today for Wellington. She, no doubt, will be introduced a bit later on and perhaps look to add some energy in the second half. So Cox and Main up top is what we're looking at as a front 2.
Yeah, both of those 2 very dynamic, love to get in behind, but are also really, really competent at holding the ball up. So expect for one to come off the line and hold the ball up whilst one gets busy and runs in behind. Both Bruce and Harrison are really going to have their job cut out for them, but they've been 2 really accomplished centre-backs this season. So I'm sure that 2v2 battle will be really exciting to watch today. Mania
Elliott's off on a run, looking to get it from Foster, but she can't make the pass. Mackenzie Barry in game 50, what a milestone for her. And as ever, solid defensively, brings her mate Kate Taylor into the action. 2 of the foundation members of the Wellington Phoenix Football Club. Here's Wynnum. Fraser. Wynnum is urged to shoot, but instead gives it on the far side to Cox. This is good from Wellington. Can McMeekin keep that in? She hasn't managed to, and it'll be a goal kick given. Good energy as always from Zoe McMeekin, wherever she's playing.
Yeah, it's great to see Zoe back into the starting 11 for the Phoenix. She loves getting forward, and you see this inverted run from her here. Shouts for a corner, but it looks really messy, and it's a hard call for the referee. But again, another burst of energy that I'll expect to see from McMeekin the whole game.
Shan Karmas is in goal for Western Sydney today. She's recently taken over the gloves from Kaylee Collins and has done a really good job in the last month or so and keeps her spot there. Wellington have come out with good intent in the first 5 minutes or so. The wind is behind them, as I say. The southerly goes from right to left on our screen. Bit of extra hospitality set up on the far side there in the tent. That hasn't been the case this season, so clearly something special for the club's sponsors on the final day of the regular season. David Dome, the club general manager, front of screen there, just going out of shot. And there's the mayor of Porirua City as well. Anita Baker is in attendance. Foster looking to link with Elliott again. Again, it doesn't come off. Porirua has been a good venue for the Wellington Phoenix women, hasn't it? Apart from the goals we've had here and the good results, it's a great venue. There is David Dome there, and Director of Football Jake Piper in the middle in the sunglasses as well. Sorry, Katie.
Yeah, it is great to be down here at Porirua Park again. As you can hear, the crowd are absolutely into it. Lots of kids down here on Easter weekend as well, and it's been a really special venue and a great addition for the club.
I think that's the thing I noticed the most as I was entering the ground today, with the sheer number of children who are here, particularly young females with replica shirts and signs for their favourite players. It's a real fan base that this Wellington Phoenix women's side has built. Of course, they spent most of the last 2 seasons across the Tasman, weren't able to make that connection with their community, but this season it's been terrific, and what you'll see after the game as well. In fact, ball given away. Here is Isabel Cox. Cox is one-on-one and can't go round the keeper. Karma stayed tall. Isabel Cox waited for her to make her move. She didn't, and in the end, the chance is lost.
And Apostolakis will be thanking the football gods. Cox has been slipped through from an assist from the right back. Looks to shimmy her hips and go left. But Karmas has kept really, really well there, and there's no fooling her with that one.
Golden opportunity for the Phoenix to strike early, not able to. Kush LaRue unable to collect possession on the far side for Western Sydney. Encouraging start, though, for Wellington. Bruce has gone across to try and challenge Cox, who's got the better of her. Fraser's arriving. Cox looking to make up for a missed effort. Main! Off the post! Emma Main inches away from opening the scoring. Within 2 minutes, 2 really good chances for Wellington.
And you're already seeing how threatening Cox and Main are, keeping the entire back four occupied and busy. They sniff out every little error that Wanderers make, and look, that back four is certainly going to be busy today against a team that has nothing to lose.
Just reminding you that Western Sydney need a result today to confirm their place today in the top 6. A draw or a win would do that. A loss would not. So they've got plenty to play for. As you say, Katie, it's a Wellington Phoenix side that can probably play with a bit of freedom. No top 6 spot on the line, just a chance to entertain for 90 minutes.
Yeah, and that's a really tricky situation for the Wanderers, playing against a team that maybe don't care about security at the back quite as much. So they'll just need to settle into this game, and I'm sure the chances will come, especially on the counter.
Hope Breslin sitting there at the base of Wellington's midfield. Foster into Fraser, gets away from a would-be defender and shoots Macy Fraser. Win behind her, she didn't mind the look of it.
Oh, you can always expect a long-range effort from Fraser in the opening 15 minutes. It's a really great idea. I mean, look, is it going to be difficult to finish chances from that space? Absolutely, but it does keep Karmas on her line and increases the ability to play Cox and Main in behind, and she's not going to be able to sweep quite as much as she'd like to.
As mentioned, 20 goals at this venue in the previous 5 matches. Wellington have won 3 of them. There's been a draw, and Sydney FC came here and won. 13 goals by the Phoenix here at Porirua Park, 7 by their opponents. Just a little slip there from Karmas as she took the goal kick. Cox is going to chase onto this one again. A defensive communication which was pretty effective at the back there. So Victoria Bruce there, untroubled to shepherd it back to Karmas. Chance for Western Sydney perhaps to get into the game. Chisari in midfield. Kush LaRue's going to chase up to this one. I don't think she's going to have the legs to keep up with it. So Robbie Hooker, he's up in his technical area, the Western Sydney Wanderers coach, and I'm not sure that he's best pleased with what he's seen in the first 9 minutes here.
No, they really have struggled to settle into this game. Phoenix are running them ragged a little bit in this opening 10 minutes. And they just do really need to settle the nerves and connect a few more passes, especially if we're looking forward to finals football against potentially better teams than the Wellington Phoenix.
He only came into the job, Robbie Hooker, a few days before the season started and had to wait until round 5 for his first win. Since then, they've been terrific. So he has to take a lot of kudos, Robbie Hooker, but he's watching his team be out-possessioned, certainly in the first 10 minutes here. It'll be a throw off the foot of Apostolakis for Wellington. Taken quickly. Emma Main's going to line up a shot. Well, long-range efforts on the menu today for Wellington Phoenix players by the looks of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's because of Karma's having a couple of slips early on. It looks like she just tries to wrap her foot around the ball and bend that into the top corner. I like the ambition from the Phoenix, but I think they need to string a couple more passes together to have a closer opportunity.
3 goals this season for Emma Main. Mariana Speckmeyer, the leading goal scorer for this team, of course, with 10. Is Mania Elliott. She has 1 this season and has fouled that time. Paul Temple's up off his bench to grab the football. He wants them to get going quickly.
Yeah, a little bit of a coming together from Matos and Elliott there. Elliott's done well to attract the foul.
Is Taylor stepping into midfield, into Fraser. She can't hold on to it, and Foster-Larkis will bring it away for Western Sydney. Goes long looking for Harding. Now, the wind has held this one up a bit. They go back to Riley Foster. And Sophie Harding is angry with her teammates for not being the second wave of pressure there, as Riley Foster's clearance wasn't particularly clinical. Here's Wynnum in midfield for Wellington. Lovely little turn away from a would-be tackler in Price. McMeekin. Now Breslin. And Minari Elliott with a chance to get involved again. Given away by Foster, and a chance perhaps for a counter-attack for Western Sydney. Buchanan through the middle. Rue on the far side. All the way across now towards Matos. First time that Western Sydney have had a chance to put together an attack of any note, and unfortunately it fizzles out. Apostolakos unable to keep it in. Wellington not able to hold on to the ball, and there's calls for a foul there, but I think that's just the contact of the ball into the chest there, which has caused the problem for Kushla-Rue. Breslin can't get away. Rue's back up, and Taylor and Barry together will combine to snuff it out. There's Taylor. Breslin flicks it on to what she hoped would be a run from Foster. Picked up by Harding. She's got Matos ahead of her. Plays it into Matos, and again frustration as the connection wasn't there.
Wanderers are certainly doing a good job of pressing and pouncing on mistakes from the Wellington Phoenix, but just unable to have the detail in that final pass at the moment. They'll be happy defensively with what they've done, but with the ball, they're yet to look like a team that's ready for finals football.
Wellington won the earlier meeting between these two sides back in October, 3-0. That was in Australia. Here's Wynnum. Main flicks it on, looking for the run of Cox. Nearly, but not quite. It's back with Wynnum. Where can she find space? It's with Cox. Now Elliott, who I'm not sure was expecting it, and that'll go behind for a corner. Real energy and intent in the front third for Wellington in the first 14 minutes.
Yeah, it's good little interchange between that front five, I guess you could call it. Elliott, like you said, not too sure she was going to get on the end of that, but she's able to win something for the team, and we do know that Foster can put in a good set piece, and it's right in front of the yellow fever, which is even better.
The energy among the home fans is palpable here as Mickey Foster lines up the first corner of the afternoon in front of yellow fever towards the near post. And Emma Main, I think, just caught in two minds there about whether to control it, to try and fashion something towards goal. Drifted harmlessly behind for a goal kick. Western Sydney want to pass out from the back. Apostolakis. Little triangles at the back, but they've given it away to Alyssa Wynnum. Here's Wynnum, she looks up. Wynnum shoots! Goodness me, that looked good off the boot of Alyssa Wynnum.
And once again, Wanderers are victims of their own mistakes, just giving that to Wynnum at the edge of the box. And although Wynnum does look for assists, you still don't want to put her in that position.
Just the one goal this year, or this season rather, for Alyssa Wynnum. It was a header, which was a bit of a rarity as far as her goal scoring is concerned, but she sniffed another one there. Elliott nips in and gives it back to Wynnum again. She gets away from a couple of defenders. Running through is McMeekin, and taken away from her own goalkeeper. Some pretty good defending really from Buchanan.
Yeah, it's great tracking back from Buchanan, who's playing out on the wide midfield, but you love this flare from Wynnum and from Cox to leave it through the legs. And that's some fullback pressing there from Zoe McMeekin to try and get a toe on the chance, but it's great defending from Buchanan.
Isabel Cox with 3 goals this season as well. She scored here in the 4-2 loss to Sydney FC. Western City just can't get their foot on the ball in any kind of constructive manner. Harding's come all the way back to try and get the ball for her side. Helps it forward now. Rue's off on a run. Her former teammate Barry is there ahead of her and gets good front position. Wellington with numbers forward. Cox looks up, sees Fraser and Main in the attacking third with her. Decides to go it alone, Isabel Cox. Apostolakis really good defending, but given away to Fraser. Elliott into the penalty area or the penalty arc. Isabel Cox, how often have we seen her in an attacking position today?
Yeah, she really does just run people ragged, and with Speckmeyer on the bench still, I expect that's a little bit of thinking from Temple to be able to bring a player like Speckmeyer on, who's now the club's top goal scorer. It's a really exciting front two as it is, and then you add Speckmeyer on. I think it's going to be a hard day at the office for Wanderers.
10th start of the season for Isabel Cox. She's also featured 3 times off the bench. Elliott, little nutmeg, and was she taken out by Martos? No, says the referee. Manaia Elliott has stayed down for the meantime, but is now just getting, well, she was getting to her feet, but she stayed down holding her left shin or ankle. Wellington play on through Main. Manaia Elliott is still sitting on the turf here at Porirua Park. It switched over to where she is, actually, but now she gets to her feet. Fraser's going to try and play her in. She's back in the action, Manaia Elliott. The header is in! The cross from Elliott, the header from Main. 30 seconds ago, Manaia Elliott was lying or sitting injured on the turf. Now she provides the cross for Emma Main to open the scoring.
That might have been the most clever thing I've ever seen from Elliott if it was purposeful, but she does still look like she's in a little bit of pain. The ball's come out to her, she's got back on her feet. Fraser does well to just slip her through, and that's a top striker's finish from Main. I hope that Kim Clover is watching, because that is absolutely what we need to see in New Zealand football. Finishes like that in front of goal.
Yeah, deadly from Emma Main. Her 4th goal of this Liberty A-League season. A really, really good finish from her. And Manaia Elliott, well, she's now receiving some treatment down on the sideline, so it was quite the turn of events. She wasn't able to get into the play. She's now receiving some treatment on that ankle. You can see it's being strapped there by the club physio. But she did have time in between all of that to get up and deliver an inch-perfect cross for Emma Main. Astonishing.
Yeah, and on her weak foot even. It's absolutely heroic. Hopefully she's able to continue the game, because she did have really great sparks leading up to that moment as well.
Well, she's vigorously putting her boot and her sock back on, I can report, so she definitely wants to get back in, and why wouldn't you? You've added an assist to your stat line. If you can get back out there, I'm pretty sure you'd want to. Western Sydney with some thinking to do, but you cannot say that Wellington don't deserve their lead, given the weight of possession and territory in the first 20 minutes. Riley Foster's come a long way out and has just about gathered that one. Manaia Elliott re-enters the fray. You can see her down bottom of screen there. Here's what happened to Manaia Elliott, Katie.
Yeah, it looks like she's gone for the cheeky nutmeg, knows she's not able to get around and tries to draw the foul, which the referee hasn't called. I think it's the right decision, but I'm most just pleased to see her back playing.
And back in the action here from the side that she delivered the cross. She puts another one into the penalty area. Missed it the first time of asking, but eventually cleared by Western Sydney. So a few nerves perhaps there in the back. Harrison, the captain, with a very rare misstep from her. The Phoenix have now scored first 12 times this season. They've won 7 and lost 4 of the previous 11. Western Sydney, meantime, have now conceded first 13 times. They've won 3 of those previous 12, though, drawn 2 and lost 7. So not all is lost. There's Mariana Speckmeyer doing some warm-ups along with the rest of the Wellington Phoenix substitutes. Macy Fraser combining with Cox and now Wynnum. Taylor's got a bit of space to work in. He gives it into Emma Main, the goal scorer. The attack breaks down now, and the Wanderers will look to build something. Price in midfield, now Apostolakis. Just a reminder that a loss wouldn't necessarily be terminal for Western Sydney. If they were to lose today, they would stay in 6th spot, but they would need Sydney FC to beat Melbourne Victory tomorrow to sneak into the 6th. That's the equation as far as they're concerned. So even a loss today doesn't spell the end of their season, not today anyway. And remembering, of course, Sydney FC need to beat Melbourne tomorrow to claim or ensure the Premier's plate. So there's so many different conversations and permutations around the final round. There's the top 6 as it stands at the moment. You can see Western Sydney in 6th. But any result today guarantees their spot, a draw or a win. Wynnum. Now Cox. Crowd get a bit excited. Isabel Cox looks to curl one. Hacked away by Chisari. Harding and Foster together. Harding can't hold on to it. And there's some frustration building, you fancy, in the Western Sydney Wanderers front line. Rue and Harding have had very, very little to work with. There's Elliott again. And it goes to Fraser. She's got Wynnum if she needs her. Decides to go herself, Macy Fraser. And goal kick results. You might hear yellow fever counting how long it's taking Sham Khamis to take this goal kick. Doesn't go far enough as Emma Main's in again. Tries to bring Wynnum in. Apostolakis gets it away. Here's Harding. Ball forward doesn't find its target. Rue and Hope Breslin tidies up. Wellington enjoying themselves in the sunshine here at Porirua Park. McMeekin quickly into Cox. There are a couple to aim for in the area, but it'll roll out for Phoenix throw right beside the corner flag. Cox unable to keep that one in, so goal kick will result. Again, the yellow fever giving a bit of advice to Khamis. Once again, though, Western Sydney can't enjoy any sort of meaningful possession. Quick shift of position for Kate Taylor across to Foster. Foster, Barry, Taylor, three of the Phoenix players who are going to be involved in the Football Ferns matches against Thailand in the next couple of weeks. Wynnum, again, that turn into space that has become so eye-catching from Alyssa Wynnum. A little short passing, and she's got it again. Really good from Wellington. Now, as Wynnum got the opportunity to get this in, she's kept it in and has it taken away from her now. Wellington scramble to get this one back. Breslin's dropped back into the back three as Foster had gone forward. It was a bit tough for Barry, but she got it back, and Breslin now given away again. Harding's off on a chase. Foster is going to get there first with a good defensive header. And Taylor came together there with Buchanan, I think, and just badly timed there from Kate Taylor, who has actually gone down herself and might be suffering some effects of this attempted challenge.
Yeah, and it looks pretty sore for both players. Both players have eyes for the ball. I don't think there's much malice in that tackle at all, but hopefully both players are okay, and it looks like the free kick's been awarded to the Phoenix. I'm not sure which way I would put that one, honestly, Piney. Both players coming together. Wanderers will be a little bit gutted to not get the set piece. But they just need to settle into the game, the Wanderers. I think they've really struggled to have any controlled possession.
So Kate Taylor getting some treatment. I just hope that it's not more serious than it first appeared. Did she get her foot caught in the turf, perhaps? I didn't quite catch her. We might get another look at this. The free kick's gone the way, as you say, Katie, of the Phoenix. So that suggests that maybe the player caught it. Let's have a look.
Yeah, it honestly does look like Taylor makes more contact with the Wanderers player than the Wanderers player makes with Taylor. So maybe a little bit fortunate to win the free kick. However, it does look like it's a little bit of a stinger for both players.
Kate Taylor's back up on her feet, which is the pleasing part. Yeah, it looked like, but she's not walking very freely. I think this might be the end of the section for Kate Taylor today, which might perhaps put her Football Ferns involvement in doubt as well. Yet Kiklam will be watching with a bit of concern, although there doesn't seem to be the suggestion from the physios yet that she will need to be replaced. Yeah, it looked like she kicked out and just caught the shin of Buchanan, which obviously jolted her in a pretty challenging way. But I agree with you, Katie. I actually thought that was a free kick to Western Sydney, but it's gone the other way.
Yeah, it does look like it's just a bit of a stinger. Slowly starting to move a little bit better, just going through some final tests now. She doesn't look like she's in the best condition at all. She'll definitely have the Ferns tour in mind and wanting to be careful, but I'm sure the physios will do all the tests they need to do to make sure she's fit to carry on.
Yeah, they're doing that now. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion she'll return, but in the meantime, Wellington play on with 10. Potential replacements. Hayley Davidson could come in as part of the back three. Harding's off now, looking to take advantage, Western Sydney, of this numerical advantage that they have. Harding's done well across the penalty area. Postelakis. And now to Price. Martos. And Martos again. Postelakis. Rue. And Manoa Elliott does the defensive work. Daisy Brazendale might be another option to come into the game, but if he wants to stay with a back three, then it might be Hayley Davidson. What are you seeing sideline, Katie?
It looks like it's Jaber just getting ready to go. Obviously, he's played in the back three before. A little bit unlucky, maybe not to make the starting 11, so it's a great player to go on if she has to.
Yeah, of course, Tiana Jaber, the obvious one that I'd missed. So, yeah, she's a centre-back by trade, so it looks as though they will make that change. It's a shame for Kate Taylor, who I'm sure would love to have spent the 90 minutes out there on the occasion of the last game for Wellington this season. Meantime, Western Sydney still playing against 10. Apostolakis. Matos. Back to Harrison. His centre-back partner is Bruce. This is the best that Western Sydney have played in the first half hour of this game. It's the most passes they've strung together by some distance. They are only playing against 10, and that's a little bit too far ahead of Price. So Tiana Jaber is ready to enter the fray next time the ball goes dead. Sure, Western Sydney will just continue to try and play against 10 for as long as they can here. I wonder whether Wellington might just want to put this out if they can. Harrison. Finds Matos. Apostolakis. And Kush-Larue, who's come out to this right-hand side, having started on the left, and is getting a bit more ball out here. Kush-Larue in towards Riley Foster. Too close to the Phoenix custodian, and still Tiana Jaber waits. Emma Main's gone a bit deeper in the meantime. Wynnum, Fraser, and Cox. Broken up over there by Buchanan, though. Cox battles to win it back. Elliott will turn into space. But Matos not fooled by it. Given it away again, and I think Tiana Jaber is now hoping she'll get on before half-time. Wellington seem quite happy to continue with 10 for the meantime. McMeekin's gone into that right side of the back three. Now it's gone out. Now the sub can finally be made. Tiana Jaber, herself a replacement player for Marisa van der Meer earlier this season, into the action for her 11th game of the Liberty A-League season. And into the action straight away with a powerful header. Breslin put under a lot of pressure, but does well to find a way out of it. McMeekin's told to turn and go, which she does. Tries to link with Fraser, but taken away on that far side by Lakomiski. Elliott can't quite control that one, and Western Sydney will again attack down this right-hand side of Apostolakis, but Emma Main's come across, makes the tackle, and Manaia Elliott sets off at the ball. Infield to Wynnum. Move into space from Alyssa Wynnum. That space is quickly closed down, but she gets a return pass from Fraser. Plenty for the crowd to enjoy out here today. The game's starting to open up just a touch. So after that period of dominance for Wellington, Western Sydney are starting to find a foothold back into the game. Ironically enough, it was when Wellington went down to 10 that probably gave them a chance to have a period of possession to get themselves into the game.
Yeah, they definitely did need to settle the nerves there. I'm not sure, we do tend to forget how hard this wind is to play in Wellington as the yellow fever just get up in arms at Apostolakis, gaining a couple of metres on that throw-in. But look, they just need to keep the ball for longer. Of course, they've got good runners in Harding and Rue, but they don't need to find them straight away, especially when they're playing against the back three. I think they're better off drawing the back three out and connecting a couple passes first before they then send someone in behind.
Yep, as Katie mentioned, there is a fairly stiff southerly breeze behind the backs of Wellington in this first half. They'll have 10 more minutes of that advantage, and then we'll see what Western Sydney Wanderers can do with that wind at their backs. Emma Main with the game's only goal so far. Breslin, nice little pass to Main, who lets it go to Elliott. It's going to find its way to Fraser. Mania Elliott again, but it's not on the same wavelength as Emma Main. Here come Wellington again through Alyssa Wynnum. She breezes into the penalty area and wins a corner. Alyssa Wynnum has certainly grown into this season, hasn't she?
Yeah, it's been great seeing her flourish in the back end of this season. It's always tricky for a young player. I think you start off with a hiss and a roar and everyone's very excited about what you bring to the league, and it's still a journey filled with ups and downs, and she's battled away and grinded her way back into the starting 11 and become a key player in the attacking half, especially for the Phoenix.
So, a huge throng of players in the 6-yard area. It's delivered. Main's going to give it back to Foster for a second bite. Plenty of elevation on that one, and a bit too much as it turns out. Drifts over the top of Karmas's net and behind for a goal kick. Karmas again has trouble clearing this one, and Macy Fraser sensed an opportunity. But push in the back there from Jaber to ease the pressure valve for Western Sydney. Here's Rue. Western Sydney looking for an equaliser before we go to half-time. Buchanan is over there with Rue. Chisari. And again Chisari. Chance now for McComiskey. Western Sydney patient in their build-up. Harding gets ahead to it. And a second. Then only takes it away from goal, and Wellington looking to tidy this one up now. Elliott will go long. Kostelakis brings it back for Western Sydney. Tracked all the way by Cox. And her pass aimed for Matos. Goes harmlessly into touch. Approaching the final 5 minutes of regulation here in the first half. Cox does well and looks to free up McMeekin. She's going to run at McComiskey. Instead gives the pass to Main. into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Harding's off on a chase. She's a Lone Ranger at the moment, Sophie Harding, but that doesn't perturb her normally. She gets the shot in straight at Foster. First real opportunity for Western Sydney. And no surprises that it came from the right boot of Sophie Harding.
Yeah, for a game where she's been kept very quiet, she's still managing to make quite a bit of noise, pressing on a lot of mistakes that the Phoenix do make. Although they look secure with the ball, any little error that they do make, she's certainly in.
Now Wellington look to go down the other end. Fraser nips in for Elliott. Her cross this time doesn't find a teammate. And hacked away by Bruce.
We just look at this chance again with Harding. She hasn't been able to get much of the ball, but even when she's going 1v3, she does look dangerous. And I think going into the second half, where the Phoenix are playing into the wind instead, I think there are plenty more chances in this game for her.
Here's Fraser. Wynnum has it taken away from her by Buchanan, who sprints forward. Rue is outside. And the pass to Rue was misplaced, and Mackenzie Barry didn't need a second invitation. Tight spaces in front of us here for Wellington, so they'll go out towards their right where there's a bit more room. McMeekin. Wynnum. Now Main. Cox is in the area. And a rather wasteful cross from Emma Main. Sham Karmas will be pleased when they turn around. She won't have to take her goal kicks into that southerly for too much longer. The Comiskey. Nice work from the Comiskey as she breaks forward and joins the attack. To combine with Kushla Rue. Buchanan. Kushla Rue over there again. Same for Chisari, but cut out. Half away by Jaber. Wellington just having a bit of trouble clearing this at the moment. The Wanderers have picked up the scraps. Apostolakis. Harding is peeled all the way out. Apostolakis gets the return pass. Promising for Western Sydney. A good cross in, only half away. And the shot came in from Martos. A very handy scoring opportunity for the Wanderers, and Martos unable to find the target.
Yeah, and it starts from Apostolakis getting forward, making an inside run. It's an okay ball that McMeekin isn't able to clear, and Martos wants to be better there, surely. But it really does sum up Wanderers' day, just struggling to have the technical execution of really, really simple things.
No goals yet this season for Danica Martos. She would love to have opened her account there and drawn her side level. Into the final minute of regulation in this first half. Is there another chance or half chance in the offing? Taken quickly, Cox. Nice work by Harrison there as she, well, almost got it away, but it's there for Alyssa Wynnum. Straight at Karmas. Well, I thought Harrison had done a pretty good job diffusing that, but it turned up again in the possession of Wellington, and Alyssa Wynnum from close range. Wanderers want to get going quickly with one last opportunity. Fourth official, Beth Rattray, tells us there are a minimum of 3 extra minutes at the end of this first half. Obviously, Kate Taylor's injury break was a large part of that. Harding. Elliott does the job on Sophie Harding. Some robust defending from Mania Elliott.
Yeah, the physio's definitely done a good job with that ankle strapping. She's looked really bright since she's come on and hasn't backed out of a tackle either.
Foster gets this one away. Isabel Cox will make this difficult for Harrison, no doubt. Good pace by Isabel Cox. Composed play from Harrison, though. Again with some industrial play in midfield for the Phoenix. Fraser takes away from Apostolakis, running into a bit of a cul-de-sac at the moment, Macy Fraser. Aiming for Elliott there, who'd made a good run. The ball didn't quite find her feet. Mania Elliott may well have had her best half in a Phoenix shirt. Really impressive from young Mania Elliott this afternoon.
Yeah, it's really great, and I think it just shows what the first pro season can do for a young player. Obviously had her ups and downs throughout the season, maybe lacked consistency, which we typically see from young players, but she's certainly put her hand up for a regular starting spot next season. We know that she's on the end of a 3-year deal and upgraded to a pro contract in her first year, which is really impressive for a young player.
Yep, she's enjoying herself out there today. Has provided the cross for the game's only goal, headed home by Emma Main into the final of the 3 minimum added minutes at the end of this first half. Hope Breslin is put under a bit of pressure in the centre circle. Referee says play on, you've got the ball. Here's Fraser, looks for Cox. The angle is tight for Isabel Cox, and in fact she just drifted the wrong side of the last defender, offside. That might be the first offside flag we've had this afternoon. Wellington come again. Cox is on the end of this throw from Foster. Harrison does well, though, for the Wanderers as we tick past the 3 minutes. Quick check of the watch from Caitlin Williams, and she brings the first half to a close. Applause from Hope Breslin at the efforts of her team. Warm round of applause as well from Yellow Fever. Emma Main, front and centre in the 18th minute, heading home the game's only goal. There's your half-time score in Porirua. Wellington Phoenix 1, Western Sydney Wanderers 0.
intoxication. Any spectator identified with a prohibited item or assessed as unduly intoxicated may be refused entry, evicted from the stadium, potentially banned from attending future matches, and handed over to police for further questionings. We ask you to respect your fellow spectators by refraining from illegal and dangerous activities. Don't miss the superstars of the Liberty A-League Women and Isuzu U A-League Men. Every round, every game, live only on Paramount Plus. Sign up today for a 7-day free trial for new customers only. Terms and conditions apply. Visit ParamountPlus.com for details. Every round, every game, live only on Paramount Plus. The A-League's All-Stars is back. The stars of the Isuzu Ute A-League Men and Liberty A-League Women will take on giants of English football, Newcastle United and Arsenal Women FC, and an historic doubleheader at Marvel Stadium in Melbourne on May 24. Get your tickets today from Ticketek.
Half-time at Potidoa Park as some of the younger members of our crowd enjoy a run out there on Potidoa Park. Some happy youngsters on the bank as well. A birthday party being held on the bank here at Potidoa Park. That's the way to spend your birthday. Come to a Phoenix game and watch goals like this from Emma Main, Katie.
Yeah, and it started from Elliot, who was on the ground actually nursing an injury on the far side off camera. They weren't too sure, but they played the ball across to her anyway. She's back up on her feet, as you see here. Fraser slips her through, and Main does well to free herself in the box, and it's an absolutely world-class finish there to flick that header on into the far post. It's a really difficult one for Karmas to save, as we just see that again. It's that little flick of the neck to find the bottom corner on the other side. Karmas is expecting her to finish on the near post, but she finishes in the far. It's a great finish.
Was that the ankle she then got strapped, Manair Elliott? Was it her left ankle that she got strapped? Because that's superhuman if she's been nursing an ankle strain, gets up and then puts the cross in with that left foot.
Oh, absolutely. I think she needs to sign that tape and give it to the crowd after that cross.
Brilliant from Manair Elliott to set up Emma Main's goal. There are your stats at half-time. 8 shots on goal for Wellington with the wind at their backs, obviously. Passes are pretty similar, as are the possession stats. I guess the touches in the opposition box also stands out. Yeah, touches in the opposition box, and also, I guess, passing accuracy, where those giveaways, 1 out of 4 giveaways of Wanderers are going, are often in the back half and setting up chance after chance for Wellington Phoenix off of their own assists, really. The goal wasn't the only chance that Wellington had, as you can see from those stats there. A number of other opportunities to increase the scoreline. Yeah, and again, this first one off of a mistake from Wanderers. Cox has gone 1v1. Karmas has done well to deal with it. The little shimmy of the hips, not quite enough to sell her there. And it's Cox very, very often that's getting on the wrong side of the Western Sydney Wanderers defenders. Here again, driving the byline and setting up Main for a finish that's gone off the upright, and on another day potentially trickles in goal. The long-range efforts have also been another thing for the Phoenix. I'm sure you're always expecting to see them, which has kept Karmas on her toes for sure and just kept the pressure on. Main having one of her own as well. Be very interesting to see how Western Sydney go with the wind at their backs, because, as you mentioned a couple of times, Katie, it actually is difficult to play into this wind, isn't it? But probably not quite as hard with it behind you. Yeah, it's very difficult. And I think the pressure just seems a little bit more relentless when the wind's coming your way. Not only do you have bodies flying at you to press the ball, but you've also got wind making it really, really hard to string passes together. So I'm sure that's a problem that will be solved a little bit in the second half, but they're going to have to find a way to gain some numerical superiority somewhere. They're struggling to have bodies around. But there has been some positive moments for Wanderers, finding the likes of Rue and Harding in behind. We know they have pace. Here's Rue sending in a cross. Foster deals with it really, really well, though, and chances just aren't quite quality enough to really have a proper go. Again, here goes Harding going 1v3, able to create a chance, but again, not troublesome enough for the Phoenix. Yeah, Sophie Harding has tried her best in all sorts of different ways to look for the opening goal. Martos probably had the best opportunity there late in the first half, but Riley Foster keeps the sheet clean. Celebrating Pride round here in Porirua today. Earlier this week, we had the chance to sit down with Alyssa Wynnum. The extended chat will be available on the Sky Sport YouTube channel this coming week. But let's hear a little bit from Alyssa Wynnum.
What about scoring?
Scoring is something that I am learning how to do. I personally prefer passing, assisting, more than I've learned to score goals, as I haven't scored many in my career, but I'm learning and I really enjoy it when I do it, so hopefully I can do it more.
Wynnum on the left, delivering this time to the back post, Alyssa Wynnum. She cannot believe it.
Every time I score a goal, my phone is blowing up. It is everywhere, from Instagram to Twitter to Facebook. Like, my phone is blowing up, and it's not because of the goal, it's because of the reaction. And I don't know why that is. I don't mean to do it. I just get so surprised every single time I score. I must have more confidence in my ability, but yeah, it's pretty cool, and the team just laugh at me.
Versatile Isuzu D-Max. Go your own way. Have you heard? Liberty proudly supports the A-Leagues, the free thinkers, the game changers, and the goal kickers, both on and off the field. Bring your finance dreams to life with
Hi guys, I'm here with Alyssa, Isabel, Haley, and I'm Macy.
We're from the Wellington Phoenix and we're going to play a bit of Don't Drop It. Ready, Liz? I'm ready. Who's the most talented of the squad?
At what? Football? Macy? I don't know.
Who's the best dancer?
Me?
Yeah. Okay, hat trick or last minute goal?
Last minute goal.
Kick the first or fifth penalty?
First. Who sleeps the most?
Me.
Who's the social media junkie?
Alyssa.
Who's the funniest?
Amy.
Who's got the most swag? I'm gonna say myself. Rate yourself. Hat trick or last minute goal?
Depends. Is it like, are we tied?
Come on.
Are we losing?
No. All right, Mace. I think you're the winner.
Now she's gonna do a cool trick to end it out.
Let's see it, girl.
Oh, you can't say that.
Plenty of fun out at Wellington Phoenix HQ during the week, and they've enjoyed themselves in the first half here as well, as the lights are on at Porirua Park. The two teams back out. Those Pride shirts, by the way, will be available on Trade Me to bid on. All 16 playing shirts auctioned off next week. Proceeds go to Inside Out, a charity that provides education, resources, consultation and support for anything concerning rainbow communities. You can also purchase your own from WellingtonPhoenixHub.com. Great to see the Phoenix being part of the A-League's wider Pride celebrations, highlighting diversity and inclusivity in the game of football. So Wellington Phoenix in their Pride shirts, kicking from left to right in the second half. That'll be into the breeze, although, I don't know about you, Katie, it seems to have dropped, ironically enough, during half-time. I guess we'll find out shortly. Off we go in the second half. Wellington Phoenix with a 1-0 lead, remembering a draw or a win for Western Sydney confirms their spot in the finals. A win gives them their first ever home final. A loss would not end their season, but they would need a result tomorrow in the Sydney FC Melbourne Victory game in order to make the top six. Their destiny is still in their own hands. 45 minutes to go. How do they approach this, Katie, the Western Sydney Wanderers?
Yeah, well, it looks like the answer is a back three. Apostolakis looking like she's just shifted into holding midfield. You've got Bruce on one side, McComiskey on the right, and Harrison holding things up in the middle of that back three.
And they've come out with a bit of fizz, have the Wanderers looking to create an early opportunity. Buchanan into the penalty area and header away by Foster. First chance for Wellington to attack. Fraser tried to find Emma Main through the middle. I guess the big dynamic in this game would be a second Wellington goal, wouldn't it? That would really throw the cat amongst the pigeons and be instructive as to how Western Sydney dealt with being not just one down, but two down.
Yeah, definitely would make things more difficult, and I think that's what they need to remember at the moment. The game's still very much in their hands, and they will be able to get a goal as long as they can string a couple more passes together. But I'm guessing that's what's changed the formation for Wanderers, or the reason for the change is just to add a couple more options around for the ball carrier, as well as add a little bit more security at the back.
Wellington have stuck with their back three. Foster is the left side of that and on the ball now. That one was aimed over here for Jaber, I think, but it all got rather messy in midfield with Hope Breslin in the way. Foul on the far side on Kush LaRue, was it? Yes, says the referee. So an early opportunity to set up a set piece for the Wanderers.
Barry just trying to say that she's gone shoulder to shoulder, but it is a little bit of an extend of the forearm, which sends Rue to the ground. Rue's done really, really well there to make sure she's in the way of the ball and player, and proven why she's just signed another 2-year deal for the club as well.
So an opportunity for Western Sydney early in the second half. Harrison, the captain, is over this one. Half a dozen of her teammates to aim for in Wellington's penalty area. The delivery is good. Harding is closest, up and over. She thought it took a touch off a defender there. protesting vehemently to the referee, but goal kick given.
It's definitely great acting from the Phoenix. It was a clear header, I'm pretty sure, off of Foster's head. Wanderers have gone up to set for the corner. Phoenix have set up for the goal kick, and the referee makes the call, gives the ball to the Phoenix, and Wanderers rightfully a little bit frustrated with that one.
Can't let the frustration get the better of them, though, Western Sydney. Robbie Hooker would have drilled that into him during his half-time chat, no doubt. Wellington have a free kick here. As Harding's come through on Jaber, who is herself a substitute, now is just nursing a bit of an injury. Thankfully, looks like Tiana Jaber's going to be okay to continue. Foster has Elliott outside, but it's not going to get there. Rue's off on another run. Barry this time has got good position. Well, that took a bit of a bounce as it went back to Foster. That's not what you want to see when you're playing back passes, a divot in the penalty area.
No, it looks very similar to what we saw in the first half when Wanderers were down that end. The team's just struggling to build out from the back in these conditions for sure, but look, they're just going to need to get hold of the ball and complete the simple pass as well.
Western Sydney again looking to construct something down there right, but it'll be a Phoenix throw. As you say, Katie, I thought the wind might have dropped, but from the way that it is looking very difficult for Wellington to clear their lines, it may still be a very stiff southerly breeze into which they're playing. Martos over there, trying desperately to retain possession, and she has, but Apostolakis not able to haul it in. There's an indication of the wind. The corner flags here at the northern end. They are actually being buffeted fairly vigorously, as you can see top of screen there. Foster striking similar problems to those faced by Karmas in the first half and getting her goal kicks anywhere up towards halfway. Chisari. Makomiski. Martos across to take the throw. Chisari. Wanderers. Not necessarily desperate, but certainly looking fairly vigorously for an equaliser early in the second half. Apostolakis. Now Bruce. Given away though, and Alyssa Wynnham's got a chance to mount something of a counter-attack. She brings Emma Main in, who unfortunately stands on the football at a rather inopportune moment. Long from Harrison. Rue can't control, and then a foul. No, says the referee. They'll break forward again. Here's an opportunity for Western Sydney. A real chance here, back towards Harding. Sophie Harding lays it back. Shot comes in all the way along the carpet from Kushla Rue. A real golden opportunity for Western Sydney there, and they couldn't profit.
Yeah, and the change of shape are definitely freeing up players a little bit more. Rue again just struggling to challenge Foster in that goal.
Breslin has it taken away from her by Harding. Apostolakis is ahead of her, just got it caught under her feet for a moment. Apostolakis. Chisari tries to tidy up over towards the far side. Martos just keeps it in. All the possession pretty much has been with Western Sydney in the second half. Just as I say that, they give it away. Composed from Foster. Elliott looks down the line and sees Emma Main. Cox is ahead of her. Here comes Main, the goal scorer, looking to slide it into the path of Isabel Cox. This game has got an extremely open feel to it at the moment. Buchanan. Well, if the Phoenix have to chase Western Sydney players for the majority of the second half, they're going to get quite tired quite quickly, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, struggling to build up against the wind, that's going to tire them out as well. So there's certainly going to be chances for the Wanderers. They're just going to have to be a little bit more clinical in and around the box, which we haven't yet seen from them.
Important too that when the ball does come up towards halfway, that Wellington's players can hold on to it to give their defenders a bit of a rest, a bit of respite, which they're not getting at the moment. Here's Buchanan into the path of Rue, and behind it goes for a goal kick. Every time an attack fizzles out, the crowd are cheering it, but there's a heck of a long way to go in this game.
Yeah, we're just starting to see both teams match up now, player for player. There's a lot more 1v1 duels than we saw in the first half. And I think that's going to become what's really important in the second half, is which individuals begin to shine and win those individual battles.
Nice pass from Elliott to Breslin, up into the wind, and holds up for Emma Main. Emma Main gets the shot away, and it's through the arms of Karmas and into the back of the net. A catastrophe for Sham Karmas. The shot from Main looked innocuous. It has slipped through into the back of the net, and Wellington have doubled their lead and doubled Western Sydney's trouble here in Porirua.
And that is not what Wanderers want after they were just able to start getting control of the football a little bit more. Main takes a shot that's, like you said, rather innocuous, and Karmas has to do better there. The wind's holding the ball up. She's got two hands on it. You just need to see her claim that one nice and easy, but instead it's gone in the back, and Emma Main gets what I think might be her first brace in the A-League.
Indeed it is. 2 today, 5 now this season for Emma Main. And Western Sydney now needed a result here today. At the risk of repeating myself, they need to either draw or win this game to assure themselves a final spot. A loss would leave it in the lap of the gods as far as they're concerned. They would need Sydney to beat Melbourne Victory tomorrow.
As we just look at this one again, Bruce has done well to hold Main up, and Main's just had to have a little bit of a hopeless attempt at goal. And look, she looks like that's exactly, yeah, sorry. She looks like she'd meant that the whole time, but I'm not sure. She did think that one was going in, and Karmas is really going to be disappointed with that effort there.
Emma Main, as you say, a brace here for her today. And against the runner played really in the second half, it's been all down this end for Western Sydney, and no doubt will continue to be even more so now that they're 2 down. What have they got in the locker? Here's Rue. Chisari can't control as Breslin brings it away. Wellington can't just sit, can they? Not with so much time left. They're not able to just park a big bus in front of that goal. They've got to continue to play, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. And I think with so many players coming to the end of their contract, it's not just about this game, but it's also showing Temple that they want to be back next season, not only in the squad, but starting players week in and week out.
Yeah, Paul Temple said during the week that his first order of business once the season is done is working out who he wants to talk to about extending their stay. The majority of Liberty A-League contracts are 1 year. Emma Main's off again. McMeekin's in the area. Emma Main, hat-trick hunting. Plays it into Elliott. It's still there for Mania Elliott.
Just take a look back at this one again. Elliott just trying to shepherd the ball out. And Matas gives it a little bit of a push, maybe out of frustration. Elliott trying to gain the foul there, but instead just gains the throw.
Approaching the hour mark, we welcome you in wherever you may be watching. A particularly warm welcome to those with Western Sydney Wanderers red and black watching from the other side of the Tasman. This game not working out the way I'm sure you hoped it would. Still over half an hour though for the team you follow to find a way back into this game here in Porirua. Jaber thought about a pass to McMeekin, thought again, this time doesn't. McMeekin does well, gives it to Wynnum. She looks to slide it into Main. Instead sideways to Fraser. McMeekin again. On the far post is Main. It's out to Wynnum. Alyssa Wynnum. Hope Breslin with the shot. And Karmas has control of that one.
There's some good interchange around the top of the box. Breslin with the last attempt, and why not challenge Karmas after the goal they've conceded earlier. But she's done well there to respond from the mistake and get clean hands on it.
So double change coming for Wellington. Mariana Speckmeyer and Hayley Davidson are preparing to enter the action. Fraser does well to retain possession, as does Breslin. Bit of space on this side for McMeekin, bashed at her by Jaber. She's done well to control that, actually. Breslin, lovely pass, looking for Cox. Main's in the area. Cox can't get away from Bruce, but doesn't out, gets a tug on the shirt. Free kick coming if she can't hold on to this one, you'd think. Goes behind for a goal kick. Will they come back for the tug on the shirt? No, the referee doesn't.
Yeah, Cox seems to be appealing, asking why there wasn't an advantage. She gets around Bruce. Bruce can do nothing but pull her back. Let's go maybe just in time to avoid giving away a free kick.
So subs coming now. Alyssa Wynnum has had an excellent hour out here. She's replaced, as is Mania Elliott, who set up the goal and can be very proud of her afternoon too. Davidson and Speckmeyer into the action for Wynnum and Elliott. And we're going to have 3 changes for Western Sydney at the next stoppage. Caceres, Morris and Eunice all lined up and ready to enter the action. So a triple sub for Robbie Hooker. They'll just wait to make that change while they try and fashion another attack. And now the triple change will be made. So Olivia Price is going to make way for Melissa Caceres.
And substitution for Western Sydney Wanderers.
Amy Chisari is off for Talia Eunice.
Olivia Price. 19, Talia Eunice on for number 6. Amy Chisari.
And Malia Morris will take the place of Madison McComiskey. So energy injected for the final half hour by Robbie Hooker for Western Sydney. Here's Mariana Speckmeyer's first opportunity to get involved. She treads on the football. Caceres with her first opportunity. Brings in Morris. Caceres, the subs combining. Taken away though by Wellington. As Fraser bursts through the middle. Main looks up. Cox ahead of her, trying to stay on side. And I think has just about done it. Hayley Davidson's making strides into the penalty area. Main is there as well. Cox cuts inside, and it's a rather tame effort, unfortunately. Wellington struggling to get this one away. It's with Morris again. Just into the fingertips of Riley Foster. Just a couple of nervous moments that something that happened at the other end might happen at this end as well.
Yeah, it's great impact from Morris. Really good forward instinct from her to get a shot off on goal, and it's a good impact, and you're starting to see that nothing to lose attitude slip into the Wanderers team, which we know had benefit for the Phoenix earlier on.
Western Sydney have only beaten Wellington once previously in the 5 meetings before today. A couple of Phoenix wins and a couple of draws. Broken up again and picked up by Eunice. Kush-LaRue has dropped back into a slightly deeper position from which she can run. That's rebounded off a Western Sydney player behind for a goal kick. Here's Davidson. Jaber. Breslin slips over, but gets back to her feet. Apostolakis. Matos. Now Rue. The freshly arrived Caceres. Again, they probe the right-hand side. Kush-LaRue will have to do well to keep that in. Has she managed it? She might have, but her cross goes behind. So they're becoming increasingly more desperate, Western Sydney, to find a way back into this one. Referee tells Riley Foster to get on with it. Back it comes, and Eunice is in the action again, trying to link up with Morris. Foster snuffs it out, but here come Western Sydney again. Fraser in the thick of things. Here's Speckmeyer, and she's fouled, and this could be the first yellow card of the contest. Mariana Speckmeyer.
Yeah, Bruce just flying in there, trying to win the ball. Well, Speckmeyer gets the touch first and gets away, and it's... Look, it is a yellow card. Bruce looked a little bit sorry, gave her a pat on the back, hopefully to avoid the yellow card, but right decision from the referee, and good impact from Speckmeyer off the bench.
Second yellow card of the season for Bruce. Here's Fraser, she'll line up a shot. And Karmas was just a little bit unsure, shooting into the southerly that time, Macy Fraser.
Yeah, we know Macy Fraser is good from range. Laces that one towards the goal, but starts to drift away because of the wind, and Karmas definitely wasn't going to let that one go in.
Fraser's in the action again, looking to free up Davidson. Looks up, sees Emma Main in there. Cut out by Buchanan. Davidson back for another bite and wins the throw. Hayley Davidson wants to get going quickly, which is unusual when you're 2-0 ahead. Isabel Cox again, winning possession back. Main. Now Breslin, she's urged to shoot, does shoot. Karmas untroubled that time. Here's Speckmeyer. Again has her heels clipped, carries on, tries to slide Main in. Finds his way to McMeekin. Not a lot of help out there for Zoe McMeekin. She's looking for a teammate or two, perhaps, but Western Sydney will have the throw, given away again. Davidson. Cox can't control. Speckmeyer steps in. Western Sydney, though, bring it away through Buchanan. Here's Rue. Breaking forward now, Eunice. Good tackle in game number 50 by Mackenzie Barry. Main plays it forward, asks Cox to chase after it. Bruce is there ahead of her. And Karmas clears this one without any trouble. Harding driving forward, leaves Jaber in her wake. Fraser's back to try and help out. Sophie Harding slides towards the far side. Eunice had a bit of a wave at it. Apostolakis. Rue's becoming more and more involved. Does get the cross in towards Harding. Again, Barry's there. Harrison. Western Sydney's captain trying to find a way. Into the final quarter of the game now. Again, it's cleared by Wellington, this time Foster. Good I thought it was a good tackle by Fraser. She seemed to get the ball there, but in the eyes of the referee, Caitlin Williams, she got more of the player, just Caceres.
Yeah, a little bit of the leg first before she goes through and wins the ball. Caceres does well to draw the foul, and Fraser doesn't look too disappointed with that one, so she obviously thinks the referee made the right choice too.
Next up, Brisbane Roar against Canberra United. Their game at 6 o'clock New Zealand time, 4 o'clock Australian Eastern time. Neither can make the top 6, so not a lot in that game. A couple of big games tomorrow, though, which I'll come to in a moment. Harrison is again lining this one up. Eunice is there as well. Harrison drifts it in towards the 6-yard area. And there are protests about a potential impeding of a player making a run there, not heeded by the referee. So Sydney FC Melbourne victory tomorrow at 6 o'clock New Zealand time. Sydney will be premiers if they win that game. If they don't, it opens the door for Melbourne City to be premiers if they can beat Perth Glory in Perth. That game at 8 o'clock tomorrow night New Zealand time. So 2 big Liberty A-League matches to finish the regular season tomorrow. In the meantime, Eunice comes again for Western Sydney. She's been energetic since her arrival. Brings Kushla Ruin. Rue's going to line up the shot. Did that take a deflection? No. Just a goal kick.
Wanderers just starting to find some success after shifting Rue into the wing-back role. She's got a lot of free space out there to attack. It did look from this angle like it snuck in on the near post, but Foster's done well to make sure the goal is covered, and that one goes beyond the goal.
Western Sydney continue to push. Wellington Phoenix continue to repel for the meantime. Picked up by Caceres. Given away, and now it's with Matos. Rue. McMee can halt her progress for the meantime. Does really well, Zoe McMeekin. Only Isabel Cox forward at the moment for Wellington, so Western Sydney will have a chance to come again. That one's broken up too. Short passing in Wellington's midfield, nobody forward. Emma Main just bashes it upfield. Paul Temple also said during the week the only team they've done the double against so far this season is Perth Glory. That was another motivating factor today, that they could do the double over a team, win the games both home and away. Harrison, little 1-2. Tried to slide it into Morris. Still there though for Morris. Clever play from the sub, but too close to Foster. legs out there now for Wellington. Bruce. Hayley Davidson with a strong header, only as far as Apostolakis. She tries to drift it into the path of Harding. It just hasn't quite come together in an attacking sense for Western Sydney today. Jaber goes long, off the side of her boot though. Robbie Hooker's up again on the edge of his technical area, urging his players forward. Once again, Wellington's players are just scrapping for every loose ball. And a bit of a clash there. Tiana Jaber, I think, and the referee just showing a bit of concern for Tiana Jaber as she had a bit of a ball to the face there. Mackenzie Barry showing concern. Let's have a look at it.
Yeah, I think Speckmeyer's just passed that one straight to her nose. Didn't know too much about that, Jaber, but referee's done the right thing to stop play and just make sure everything's all right. And most importantly, that auctioned off kit doesn't get any blood on it.
Yeah, I was gonna mention the kits that might be worth a bit more with a bit of blood on it, who knows? More of a collector's item. Tiana Jaber's back into the action. That'll water the eyes a little bit. Yeah, as Katie mentioned, all of these match-worn strips are going to be auctioned in the week ahead. The Pride strips that Wellington are wearing this afternoon. All proceeds go to Inside Out and the fantastic work they do. Another initiative that the Phoenix are running this weekend is a boot drive. They've asked for people to bring along their pre-loved football boots. They'll do the same tomorrow at the men's game, which is at Sky Stadium from 1. Those boots will be redistributed to hundreds of families across Wellington. The Phoenix players and staff have already donated a couple of bins of their old boots. So if you're going to the Wellington Phoenix men's game tomorrow in Wellington, bring a pair of your old boots and they would gladly accept them and then redistribute them. Wellington almost playing themselves into a bit of trouble in their own penalty area. That looks like it'll go behind for a corner. Another corner coming the way of Western Sydney. Eunice to take. Time is certainly running out for them, but a goal here would make it interesting. Foster drops it. Not away by Wellington. Jaber trying her best to get it away. Fraser's in helping out defensively. Final 15 minutes or so that these Wellington players will spend together as a football team. Nature of the game is that players come, players go. This is the last time they'll play together this season, and as a collective ever, you would have to imagine. Mackenzie Barry has been terrific at game 50. Forward again by Jaber. Cox does well to hold it up. Fraser's there to help out. Has that stayed in? No. Sarah Jones down here on this near side with the flag up. So if this result stays the same, Western Sydney fans and their players will find themselves in a very unique position tomorrow of cheering for Sydney FC. their fiercest crosstown rivals. They'll be hoping that Sydney FC can do them a favour and beat Melbourne Victory. That's all to come. Harding, really good ball for Rue. Rue tracked all the way by McMeekin. And McMeekin drags it to the ground. It's going to be a free kick the way of Western Sydney. Another opportunity to line up a free kick. So there's the ladder as it stands right now. Western Sydney would be 6th, even if it stays like this. That's a live ladder, but Melbourne Victory could pounce and jump ahead of them if they were to get a point or all 3 against Sydney FC tomorrow. It's incredible that the 22-game regular season has come down to the last 3 or 4 games on the last weekend. Free kick taken and headed across the face of goal. That might have been... Riley Foster was aware that it was going to go wide, and a double sub now coming, and a very special moment for Amy Daniele, the reserve goalkeeper. It's going to be a Liberty A-League debut for her. Tell us a bit about Amy Daniele.
Yeah, we mentioned Amy last week, game that she was on the bench around her time at Auckland United, in between the sticks there. She went to the Under-17 World Cup in India, represented her country there, as you see. Great interaction with Riley Foster, who I'm sure has been an excellent training partner for the young keeper and really helped her. And she looks super excited to be taking the field, and a really proud day for her family, for the people at Auckland United and the people at Wellington Phoenix Academy, where she most recently played as well.
Fantastic moment for Amy Daniele. A Liberty A-League debut. Daisy Brazendale, another academy product, is into the action. It's courageous in many ways, isn't it, from Paul Temple? I know there's nothing on the game, but I'm sure he wants a clean sheet. I'm sure he wants a win. And the first thing Amy Daniele's going to see is Yellow Fever taking their tops off. What a view for the young debutant goalkeeper.
Coming off number 15, Chris LaRue, and then replaced by 23, Ella Abdul-Musser.
Ella Abdul-Musser is on as well for Western Sydney, so the outfield bench is cleared as Chris LaRue sits down. Harrison going to look to drive another free kick into Wellington's penalty area, and does. Daniele, her first stat line, we'll call it a shot at goal, we'll call it a save.
Yeah, great to have a nice safe action early on, and look, she's got the support from the Yellow Fever as well, which is excellent, but it's always nice to see a young keeper do the simple things well, and she's done exactly that with her first interaction of the game.
You can see the embrace between the two of them, Riley Foster and Amy Daniele, when Daniele came on. Now, Hayley Davidson has been on the end of a pretty robust challenge here. I don't think a free kick's even been given here, but Hayley Davidson is in a bit of distress here, and Wellington don't have any subs left.
Yeah, it wasn't a great tackle, just flying in there. And it just looks like she's got a good connection with her ankle there. I'm not too sure if it's her ankle or if it's the far knee that's planted in the ground. We'll just have to keep a little bit of a lookout.
I'm not sure that Hayley Davidson, tough as she is going to be able to continue here. I've just got eyes on her down in front of us, and she doesn't look in great shape, but Wellington will carry on. In fact, now she is getting back to her feet, so that is a bit more promising. So maybe just a heavy collision. So Wellington playing with 10 at the moment. Western Sydney now desperate for something. Harding can't haul that one in. Davidson is going to re-enter, so that's good news. And does now return Hayley Davidson in front of the Yellow Fever faithful, who applaud her return. Daisy Brazendale with her first piece of action. She's enjoyed it. A debut season, she's got a few minutes. Maybe she didn't expect to get the minutes that she has this season, but she's been excellent, Daisy Brazendale, in her appearances for the side.
Yeah, she's looked very confident, very clean when she's involved in possession. And I think it's a little bit of future-proofing from Temple, giving Brazendale as much minutes towards this back end of the season that she can, so she's ready to hopefully make more appearances next season and potentially more times in the starting lineup as well.
Caceres goes down to the penalty area. No penalty, still there though. And it's poked behind. It was the latest addition, Ella Abdul Massa, who had the shot. Caceres is back up. It's a pretty heavy fall, and she is back on her feet, which is good. So another corner coming the way of Western Sydney. Plenty of elevation. Daniele is crowded out, but her defence does the work. A appeal for a handball in the area. And now a shot comes in. There's plenty of bodies in the way. Loud appeals for handball there. Harrison was leading the calls. No VAR, of course, in the Liberty A-League, so they can't go and have a look. We might get one. We'll see what transpires here. Speckmeyer. She goes long. Hayley Davison is clearly unencumbered by that heavy challenge a few moments ago. Western Sydney throwing players forward in big numbers now, but that's going to drift behind. Let's have a look at this one.
Yeah, and it's pure carnage in the box. Harrison has an attempt. Main's hands are going towards the body. I can't tell if the ball actually makes contact with the arms, but either way, they're coming in towards her body, which would suggest it's not a handball if it does hit her hands, Pony.
Referee agreed. Caitlin Williams. Five minutes remaining in the first half, rather the second half, and then stoppages. So while there was nothing really riding on the game for Wellington, they were really just playing for pride in more ways than one today, and they've certainly turned up. Emma Main with 2 goals, one a wonderful header, one perhaps slightly fortuitous, but they all count. And Emma Main will enjoy her post-match refreshment, no doubt. Is there anything left for Western Sydney? Sophie Harding is still chasing and will keep this one in. Takes a nip on the ankle, but carries on. Here's Caceres. And free kick given as Caceres lined up that shot. Her legs were taken by Hope Breslin, who's now making the point that other indiscretions have gone unpunished. I don't think you have to be able to read lips to get that from Hope Breslin.
Yeah, I think fair to say Breslin isn't happy with that one. Caceres almost catches Breslin on her wind back to take the shot. But you can argue she's impeded. She sure does do a good job of selling it, and Wanderers have a free kick on the edge of the box and a chance to challenge Daniele in between the sticks.
Amy Harrison with a chance to give her side hope. Just wants to make sure that Buchanan is the right distance away from the ball. Here's Harrison. Daniele up against the crossbar. Saved by Amy Daniele. Riley Foster celebrates in front of us on the Phoenix bench. Still there for Western Sydney. Well, as Amy Daniele pushed that one up onto the crossbar, nobody celebrated more than the player she replaced, Riley Foster.
Yeah, and it's a good effort from Harrison. It's goal-bound for sure. Daniele does just enough to get fingertips and push that onto the crossbar. It's an excellent save from a young keeper.
And it keeps Wellington's sheet clean. Emma Main will fancy a hat-trick here. Wellington haven't been down this end much in the last little while. No Phoenix player has ever scored a Liberty A-League hat-trick. Mackenzie Barry decides that she'll become an attacker all of a sudden. Comes together with Harrison, who fouls Mac Barry, and Wellington will have a free kick now. Barry's back on her feet.
I did panic for a second, and that was Bruce about to earn a second yellow card. Harrison's escaped a yellow, it looks like. Barry getting forward, I don't think anyone was expecting that, and maybe that's why the foul has come. No one's expecting her to pop up in positions like that, and the Phoenix sure look like they're going to take the 3 points today.
Can they add a cherry on top with a third goal? We take it to the 90th minute here in Porirua. Foster to take. Now towards the edge. Breslin was closest, but taken away by Eunice. Brazendale helps it back towards Speckmeyer. It's going to fall the way of Fraser. Now Speckmeyer. It's blocked. Main's going to get there, is she? She has kept it on Emma Main. A good defending from Western Sydney, and Abdul Masset still hasn't gone out. It's all in slow motion. McMeekin comes in and said, don't worry, I'll take it. So first of an Easter weekend doubleheader here in Wellington. The top of the table men take on Brisbane Roar tomorrow, 1 o'clock. We'll have that for you on Sky Sport. Minimum of 5 added minutes at the end of this one. And they'll start with a free kick the way of Western Sydney. They want to get going quickly and do. Morris. Caceres goes over in the area. No foul. The referee might have been a bit scared about giving a foul against Hope Breslin there, given the spray that she got last time. Daniele almost gets herself into a bit of strife, but apologises to her teammates. Just a nervous moment there for the debutante.
Yeah, she did look a little bit nervous with that one. Puts her hand up, owns accountability. She gets the scan there to open up on her right foot, but doesn't quite expect the pace of Harding. Lucky to escape danger a little bit there.
Fraser goes back and defends, and has that gone behind for a corner? Goal kick is given. Crowd enjoying the final few minutes of the Wellington Phoenix's Liberty A-League season. They've turned up in excellent numbers again here at Porirua Park. It's been a bit of a fortress. Yes, Sydney FC came here and took all 3 points, but other than that, the other 5 games have all seen an accumulation of points for Wellington. Be very interesting to see what they do next season in terms of match venue, but I don't think you can get too many arguments about returning here to Wellington's northern suburbs and to Porirua Park. Jaber through to Brazendale. Nice ball for Davidson to chase after. Main is in the centre forward position and arriving now. Away by Karmas. Only as far as Fraser. A little chip towards goal from Macy Fraser. You can see what she was trying to do.
And her eyes did light up. It's great play from the Phoenix. Davidson sends in the ball, and Main almost out-jumps the keeper there. And I think has gone down with a pretty nasty case of cramp.
Well, Western Sydney wanted to leave the field of play so that they can carry on. Sure, the extra time will be added, so nothing will be lost in terms of opportunity for Western Sydney. Robbie Hooker, well, They'll have a nervous wait for tomorrow. And as I say, along with the rest of the Western Sydney fan base and playing group, we'll be cheering the Sky Blues against Melbourne Victory tomorrow.
Just look at this one again as Main rises almost above Karmas, but she's able to punch through. We've seen Main struggle with cramp a couple of times in this season. She's done well to reach the 93rd minute without having too much cramp on those calves yet, as the referee just ushers her off the pitch so they can resume play.
Back underway with only a couple of minutes remaining here. Wellington continue to battle for possession. Fraser looks to free up Brazendale.
Yeah, all this.
Apostolakis into Harding. Robust from Breslin. Too robust that time. Another free kick coming the way of Western Sydney. Hope Breslin has been heavily involved in all parts of the game today. Emma Main returns for the final minute or so of this one. Harrison delivers. Up in the air by Harding. Look to shepherd it out. Speckmeyer trying to get it away. Still there for Western Sydney along the 6-yard area and half away. Still a chance for Western Sydney. Daniele at the second attempt holds on. We've had the extra 5 minutes. There'll be more because of the stoppage for Emma Main's cramp.
Yeah, and that cross just comes in. Daniele looks like she's dealt with it well. Takes a little bounce, but makes sure that Harding can't get on and pounce on that one.
Final few moments here of Wellington's season. Main is back in the action but can't get that one in. Brazendale's got heavily involved since her introduction. Is there anything left for Western Sydney? Quick check of the watch from the referee. Still time to play. Sophie Harding still throwing herself about in the 97th minute. Another check of the watch from the referee. Western Sydney Wanderers' top 6 hopes remain in the balance, but playing for pride, Wellington Phoenix finished their season on a high and with smiles on their faces. Emma was the main attraction. A brace for her. Wellington Phoenix 2, Western Sydney Wanderers 0. Well, Western Sydney, we're going to have to wait, aren't they? But Wellington Phoenix's season comes to an end, and not a bad way to finish, all things considered, Katie.
No, it was a great team performance, and the thing that the fans can be the most happy with is the amount of energy that the side brought into the game. They were relentless with their pressing, especially in the first half, going with the wind. Wanderers will be really disappointed, and they'll be sitting probably on the flight home hoping for a result that goes their way and sees themselves still in the top 6.
They may well still feature in finals football, Western Sydney. They haven't been able to secure their place today, but they still have a chance if Sydney FC beat Melbourne Victory tomorrow. That is the equation they will be hoping for in order to play some finals football. Let's take it down sideline. Half centurion and victor today, Mackenzie Barry, is with us. Mac, I know this game and this occasion meant a lot to you. How are you feeling now you've got the job done, 3 points in the bag?
I'm so relieved. I'm so happy. I'm proud of everyone and I'm proud of myself. It's been a long road and to get 50 caps is amazing. So I'm honoured and yeah, I'm so happy I did it with the Phoenix.
You were playing only for pride today, but how did you approach the game and put in such a good performance to end the season?